Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
It's an after-school special on the Varsity Media Sports Network. We're in Suffolk County for today's Boys Lacrosse Showdown featuring the Huntington Blue Devils and Half Hollow Hills. Today's broadcast is sponsored by String It Up, located in Huntington. Give them a ring today, www.stringitup.com. And by Breakout Goaltending Group for all of your goaltending needs. And a pleasant good afternoon, everybody. Alongside Rob Pennell and Mike Hungerford, I'm John Perez. Huntington and Half Hollow Hills come into this game off of big victories yesterday. We'll start with Half Hollow Hills. A 9-6 victory over Pat Med, a game in which they trailed 5-4. Huntington on the other side winning roughshod over Riverhead 11-0, and we'll go with the coach first, Mike Hungerford. And, back-to-backs, obviously not uncommon in the lacrosse season, especially for some non-league or at least this point in the season. But how important is it for both of these teams, obviously getting those two victories, knowing that they were not look-ahead games and taking care of business before coming into today?
Yeah, I think both coaches kind of looked at the schedule and kind of knew they'd be playing back-to-back. So they probably, veteran guys, veteran coaches, Coach Watts, Coach Hagan's probably, managed practice a few days before, trying to keep legs fresh and know you're going to play back-to-back. And realistically, a lot of these kids play clubs, so they're used to getting up on a Saturday and playing a whole lot of lacrosse and getting up on Sunday and stretching out and doing it again. So I don't think it's much of an issue.
Yeah, and if for both of these teams looking forward to these two games, obviously showed no rust. Let's start with Huntington on their side of the field as the Blue Devils get ready to go under Julian Watts in his 6th season, and a couple of players to watch today, Rob Pennell. A good 1-2 punch for Huntington, as it's going to be an Anthony Annunziata, the future Yale Bulldog, and, of course, the future Hoyer as well, Aiden Corello. Many teams, not just in Suffolk County, but around the nation, would love to have these two on the field.
Yeah, they're two big-time players going to two big-time schools for a reason, right? They power this Huntington team. You've got Annunziata, face-offs, scoring goals, assists, and then you've got Corello, who's your lockdown defender. Looking forward to watching him covering Rayo of Hills today.
Mike, this is a Huntington team that obviously has the advantage in the face-off circle regardless of who Half Hollow Hills is going to have out there. Even though they're undermanned, how do you get a face-off win against Anthony Annunziata?
Well, it's not easy. I think you can't focus on trying to win. You got to focus on trying to manage when you lose. Like, how do you lose? You can't give up fast break goals. You can't create offense, and when they win the faceoff, they're going to dictate some of the tempo, but you can't let them just run roughshod on you and turn it into a 4-on-3 all the time. So it's not necessarily about winning. It's about managing losing, I think.
This is a Blue Devil team that's very loaded. Let's meet their starting lineup as the Blue Devils come in 5-2 on the year. It's Thomas Giramonti, Tyler Johnson, and Brian Rybenko on the attack. Annunziata, Michael Klein, Colin Lennon, and on defense, Aiden Corello, Patrick Canernium, and Parker Wands, along with Thomas Klein. And in net for Huntington today, one of the best goalies on Long Island, Sammy McArner, the senior, someone who will see a lot of shots today from a very good Half Hollow Hills team. Rob, what makes him so special between the pipes?
Well, his just ability to save, inside, outside, and, also in the clear game. You see he's quick with his outlets, he catches it, he gets rid of it, and he's able to create some transition for Huntington.
So those are the Blue Devils. Let's meet Half Hollow Hills, coached by Connor Hagan, 7-2 on the year. coming off a 9-6 victory over Pat Med. And boy, do they have a 1-2 punch as well. Their impact players certainly making an impact across the island. It's Anthony Rayo and Andrew Constantino. Rayo now, with his 7-point performance yesterday, leads the entire island in goals at 32 goals. And he had 3 assists as well. And then you've got Andrew Constantino. Hills is loaded offensively, Rob. How do you stop these two?
Yeah, it starts with Rayo and Constantino, and just a really balanced offense. You'll see they share the ball. They each pick and choose their spots. They also play all over the field, so you'll see both go from attack to midfield. But they're just guys that can do it all, and not only can they score themselves, they also create for the players around them. Yeah,
and strategically, Mike, we know how loaded that Half Hollow Hills is offensively. Is it one of those cases where you pick your poison? Do you go at one of them? What do you think as a coach?
If you're going to play offensively Hills, I don't really know. You have to make a decision. I think what has to happen is you can't let both of them get massive numbers, because what will happen is it'll leak over to the other guys. All of a sudden, there'll be guys open everywhere, so you have to kind of manage it a little bit. I think if you're also Hills, when you get the ball in offense, you have to manage what you do with the ball, because you're going to lose those faceoffs, right, Rob? And you can't be willy-nilly turnover city, because you'll be playing a lot of defense again, right? You know that.
Absolutely. We saw it in a game called last night with Cold Spring Harbor and Manhasset with Cal Gerard. It's a similar situation here with Annunziata. If you don't win the face-off, you don't know when you're going to see that ball, especially if it keeps going in the back of the net. And, with Annunziata at the face-off X, it's a game where they can certainly go on a run. So Hills is going to need to manage that on their offensive side of the ball.
Well, there you see Half Hollow Hills. Let's meet their starting lineup as well. We mentioned Constantino and Rayo up front. James Bruno, along with Ryan Chung. He'll be taking the face-off. Justin Gannett, Luke Bradley, Ben Vogt, Jake Casamento, Sal Cayazzo, and Tom Nazarek. And in net for Half Hollow Hills, one of the best goalies on the island as well. Only a sophomore, a ton of sophomores in this lineup. Sal Santoro, 68 saves on the season, someone that is so good in between the pipes. And Rob, he's going to see a lot of traffic in front from this Blue Devil offense.
Yeah, listen, he's got a lot of saves. He sees a lot of shots, but, that's led to him saving those shots. And he's certainly been the focal point of that defense. So look for him to lead them, especially going to need a good game out of him, with Huntington probably going to have more possessions than Hills.
So as the teams are getting ready and their starting lineups are being introduced, we will step aside. When we come back, we'll get ready for the national anthem and the start of this one here at Half Hollow Hills on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports. Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net.
Back here, starting lineups being introduced, Half Hollow Hills and Huntington. And with that said, these two have a lot of work cut out for them. Let's see the keys to the game in this one, and pretty simple on both sides, right, Mike? Half Hollow Hills, they want to clean up the sloppy play, be better in transition. Huntington, you could say this about any team in the nation. Control the face-off, limit the turnovers, take high percentage shots. Sometimes it's better, easier said than done, but that's what's on the table for both these teams.
Yeah, I just think that, Half Hill is a pretty young team. I've coached some pretty young teams in my days, and you never know what you're going to get sometimes. It's life's like a box of chocolates, they say. You don't know what you're going to get. Some days you get really good play, and some days you're like, who are these guys sometimes? I think looking for consistency is important, Rob, with those kind of young guys.
Absolutely, and one of their keys is to push in transition or maybe be opportunistic, but against the face-offs, against Annunziata, right? One of their keys in Huntington is to control the face-off. So you really got to be particular there in your possessions and taking your shots really intelligently and not forcing anything.
We'll send it to our public address announcer, Nick Rayo, now as we get ready for the national anthem performed by Huntington's own Brendan Ryan, the playing trumpet on the national anthem out of the Bogman.
In 1995, and their first album, Life Begins at 40 Million, was produced by Talking Heads member Jerry Harrison. They continue to play live shows in venues such as Webster Hall and the Paramount. And in fact, they will be playing a benefit concert at the Paramount in Huntington in memory of their dear friend, Greg Klein, and benefiting the Greg Klein Foundation on November 11th. Now, if you please rise, remove your caps, and welcome Mr. Brendan Ryan from the Bogman as we honor America with this special rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner.
Rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner by Brendan Ryan of the Bogman, and the connection here between the Bogman, Huntington, and Half Hollow Hills is Ryan was the best friend of Greg Klein, who unfortunately passed away on his 50th birthday. Greg, of course, the father of both Mikey and Thomas Klein, and the Bogman are performing at Paramount on November 11th, and there you see the information. You can purchase tickets to their concert at thebogmen.net. All proceeds will go to the Greg Klein Foundation. So fantastic job all around organizing it between these two programs, and just another example why Long Island proves to do lacrosse the best, and it's obviously a very close-knit community here out on the island.
That was a pretty good rendition, Rob, huh?
That was very impressive.
For a lot of national anthems, right? So.
I like the trumpet. It was great. I played the trumpet in the 4th grade, and my parents said let me play after that. So nickname was Johnny One Note. But that was amazing, and it went over very well here. Through the microphone, worked out great.
Well, and I guess one of the benefits, right, is if you would have spent all your energy in music, probably you would have been as great a musician instead of a lacrosse player. But now we're gifted, obviously, with you with a stick.
Yeah, I think I was glad that I stopped. It was a good thing that I stopped playing the trumpet and focused my efforts on lacrosse. I don't think I was going very far with that. But that was great. That was the best national anthem I've heard this season so far. How about Coach? What do you think about that?
Very, very good. It was awesome. It was really good. You know, I think a lot of fans didn't hear you play trumpet, but they would agree that happy you picked up the stick instead there, Rob. You know, myself included.
No, that was a great one there, and let's have everyone out there obviously know you could go to thebogman.net for tickets. And, of course, if you're watching this game, you're obviously a fan of high school lacrosse. If you're a fan of college lacrosse and you want to see your future players before they go up to the next level, be sure to subscribe on youtube.com/varsitymedia and follow on social media at Varsity Media. There is a contest going on tomorrow. It's Fogo Friday, where the best Fogo goals will be entered into winning a prize. So get those DMs in tonight. We've got a lot of submissions, I've been told, and the voted winner will get a hat and a T-shirt courtesy of Varsity Media. As Huntington gets ready to go, and they'll run the show. The Blue Devils coming in at 5-2 on the year, coming off an 11-0 victory over Riverhead, and look to make it 2 in a row against Half Hollow Hills on the road. You know, Rob, I saw your eyes light up with Fogo Friday. I've heard not a big fan of the term, or
it sounds fantastic. I didn't know Fogos were supposed to score goals. I thought it was they face off and get the ball at the attack, and
Quick shot rings wide.
the attack score the goals. Just kidding, all my face-off men out there. I know they don't love the term FOGO. They're face-off athletes. They really have, the position really has, it's such an important position, but they are truly incredibly athletes to wrestle for that face-off, and now their skill with the ball, it's amazing. So we got one of them today in Annunziata.
Yeah, Annunziata wearing number 1 in gray and blue. Turning on a dime, low shot and a score. And Huntington strikes first. It's Mikey Klein, the senior, with his 12th goal of the year. And Huntington takes an early 1-0 lead.
Looks like just a great individual move here. You see he goes hard to his left hand, got the short stick on him, stops on a dime, rolls back, and shoots right out of that roll. And Coach, I think the good thing there was he changed planes with that shot, low to high, certainly making it tough for that goalie to track it.
Sure, challenge the goalie out of the roll. You know, goalie's he's moving one way, maybe have to take a step back the other way and then find the ball, changing levels. I think the best part about the dodge was kind of felt that maybe there was going to be a slide coming, but he got it off before the adjacent slide got to him.
Ryan Chung wrestling for a position after the face-off, as Hills will have 3 different face-off men here today as they're dealing with the injury of Nico Chicas, who's out 4 weeks with a thumb injury, one of the best face-off men on Long Island a year ago. Still being whacked at. Fight for possession. And it'll stay with Hills.
There you go. You're 1 for 2, right? You know, if you're Hills, you lost the first one, you found your way to this one, and got to scrap a few out.
Anthony Rayo, one of our impact players, was the face-off guy yesterday as Julian Watts comes out to take a look at Thomas Klein, one of the Swiss Army knives for Huntington. And so Klein will come off, and long pole comes on for Huntington.
Really curious to see how Hills handles his first possession, knowing, as we talked about in the pregame, about the face-offs, and they may not win many today. Are they going to be patient? Are they going to attack right away? Are they going to move the ball around, let everybody get a touch? So this will kind of set the tone for their offense.
This is Anthony Rayo, most goals on the island, 32 coming into today, 7 points yesterday. Slung to the far side, it's Rayo receiving again. Rayo 40% from the face-off yesterday.
Coach, does Huntington look like they're in a little bit of a zone?
I would, at first I wasn't sure because of the matchup, but I think they're in zone for sure right now, yep.
Down low, big contact. And Huntington, and that zone clamps down to get the turnover.
You know, one of the goals of zone defense, you know, is kind of just get the other team to, you know, not make a good play, do something that's uncharacteristic or throw the ball away. Kind of got one there. That inside pass wasn't really there.
And they never really got the ball to the other side. It kind of stayed on that right side of the zone for 30 seconds to a minute there. And you really want to make the defense switch fields and change and have to play the other side and then get it back to the other side quickly for some of those step-down shots. And it just never really got there. And like you said, really you don't want to do is jam the crease. That's what they want you to do.
Rayo to Constantino, 41 points on the season. Rayo. Dodging. Knifes inside, slings a low shot, and it trickles wide after the deflection by Sammy McInner.
Yeah, Rob, I love that. I love the fact that Rayo tried to just dodge there, right? Because sometimes people play a zone and you think you can't dodge. It's just got to be bold more, right? There's going to be an opportunity to dodge sometimes.
Yeah, I think they have their short sticks at the top, too, and there's kind of gaps that you can get in between those top corners. When you dodge a short stick, make another guy play you, and then you're kind of creating a rotation. You're making 2 guys cover you in a zone. Someone should be open.
Tyler Johnson, the senior, 7 points on the year. And now Peter Bringen, the transfer from Chaminade.
Pretty good, you know, they had the ball two possessions in one, right, Rob? You know, they had the turnover there, mixed in, and had a really good look at the goal, and Rayo didn't finish it. Sammy McInner is pretty stout in the cage. They're all not going to go in, right? But a pretty good possession overall.
Annunziata. Future Yale Bulldog. Defers up top. Lennon, a sophomore, has been having himself a few good weeks. First opportunity for Santoro. Handles it flawlessly. And now the Hills offense up the field. Rayo again. Luke Bradley. Rayo and Corello. That's a fun matchup as Corello wins that battle. Rob, Corello, one of the better defensive players on the island. What makes him so good defensively?
I think he's a big kid, and he's got range, and you can see right there, you know, he had a stick in the passing lane, stick in the right spot, right, able to pick off that pass. Good defenders, you know where their stick is at the right times. They have it in the passing lane of the guy they're covering, right, always in gloves. And you can see there he's capable of pushing some transition as well.
Half Hollow Hills calls a timeout after Annunziata lays the wood. Down low as...
I think that Half Hollow Hills coach was hoping they made a foul call there, maybe on a little bit of a high hit, but officials right there disagree. Kind of let that go.
With that said, we've got a fun week of lacrosse coming up on the Varsity Media Sports Network, including 2 tomorrow. Southside against Wantagh, Cold Spring Harbor, and Syosset. We just saw Cold Spring Harbor last night, Rob, looking to get their victory over Syosset and shake off the rust against a very good Manhasset team. And then, Mike, you're in for 2 good ones on Saturday. Darien at St. Anthony's and Connecticut Northport game. Sandwich in between there is Massapequa and Mount Sinai, and we'll see the Chiefs again against Southside. Can't think of a better slate of games than what we have coming up on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
That's as good as what you're going to get on ESPN, I think, with some of the games you're going to have. To be honest with you, you like Long Island High School lacrosse. I mean, how about the Darien Blue Wave? They'll play anybody, anywhere. Public high school team. People said to me, "Oh, Darien's a private school, right?" Like, well, no, they're a public high school in Connecticut. And they're willing to go anywhere and play anybody. Their schedule's been loaded, and they're a pretty young team and up with a tough one against St. Anthony's, but they willing to go do it, you know?
Yeah, they had a great win against Brunswick, and I think everyone, put them on the map. Then they followed up with St. Anthony's and Chaminade and Manhasset, Manhasset and Chaminade. Now they have St. Anthony's, so 3 tough opponents. Coach testing his team there, especially a young team, and preparing them for their in-state play.
And certainly not a knock in their loss to Manhasset. I mean, we just saw last night how good Manhasset could be, but Darien expecting to put up a show against St. Anthony. Should be a fun one as that game. Monday, a Saturday morning showdown right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Off the timeout, it's Constantino. Rayo can't handle the short hop. Annunziata looks to scoop. Check that was Corello. And Corello comes out of the dust and a whistle.
When there's a loose ball, Corello seems to be around it all the time. He's like that juice guy, He's the guy that brings him all the excitement from the sidelines. He makes a play, knocks a ball out, throws a check, knocks the guy down. Rob, he stirs the drink there for the Huntington guys.
And it's great when that guy's your best defender, right? One of your best players, to have him do all that and bring the energy and not only on the defensive side of the ball, but in the middle of the field. Those where those guys really, their presence is felt.
Corello certainly had his hands full this season and has been battle tested. Of course, you saw he's had the matchup against Northport and Mr. Meyer, Tyler McCarthy from Connecticut, who we'll see. Someone who is just a vacuum on the ground ball, says his head coach, Julian Watson. So far, he's been a little battle tested, and his defense has led the way for Huntington.
Yeah, he's going to Georgetown. He brings a little grit to Georgetown. I know Coach Warren is a guy that kind of, he wears his heart on his sleeve when he coaches, and he wants his guys to play like that. And I think it's a perfect fit for where Aiden Corello's, skill set and his style of play fit in.
Yeah, and Coach Warren's a defensive-minded coach as well, and always has his defense ready to go. Obviously, Georgetown has had some great defenses in the past few years, and Georgetown seems to be hitting their stride right now. It was a slow start to the season for them, but just handed Loyola a big loss the other night. Loyola team that had beaten Maryland and has been having a good season. Georgetown beat them 23-6, I think.
I watched a couple minutes, and I went to go to the bathroom, and I came back, and I was like, what happened? Like, I wasn't in there that long, and it happened quick. Boy, like Georgetown,
they have the talent. They just got to put it together, and they can put it together at the right time here. They can make a run.
And Rob, what do you see out of him? At least, he's got a more than a high schooler's body, someone who will be up for the task at Georgetown. But what, I guess, disciplines do you see from him defensively that translates to the next level?
I think it's just doing things right the first time, right? Like, so far he's had a few ground balls, and he's picked them up. He makes it look easy. He's getting his stick in the passing lane, right? That's something that a lot of times you have to teach kids. He's doing it naturally. He's getting out on his defender. He's getting his stick in the gloves. But it doesn't seem like he wants to throw a lot of checks. He's very good position-wise, which I think is always the best defenders are toughest when they play with their feet and not their stick.
Sal Santoro, on the other hand, had a nice save against Anthony Annunziata to keep this 1-0. The lone goal coming from Mikey Klein just a minute and a half into this contest, as Huntington coming off an 11-0 victory over Riverhead. Half Hollow Hills scoring 9 goals in their 9-6 win over Pat Med yesterday evening.
That's a big save by Santoro right there, because
it leads exactly to a goal, Mike, so there you go. So right on cue, Andrew Constantino gets it past Sammy Mack, and we're tied at 1.
Might have hit somebody, maybe something. Did they hit somebody? I'm not really sure.
I think McArner got a piece of it, and I think he got a piece of it initially and then just still got by him, maybe down low. Good shot by Constantino. Rayo with the throwback to him here. Kind of like a little man-up look where you catch it right back to the trailer, and he shoots it, and it looks just able to get it by McArner.
That's Santoro down there. The other end, we were talking about, they went down the alley, and they had the defense pretty compressed, and that got a shot for about 7 yards, I think, and that's a pretty good shot. He's up to the save, Santoro.
Yes, it made the save look easy.
Constantino scoring.
Control, sorry.
No, it's all good. Constantino is 22nd goal of the year. Rayo with the assist. That's number 20, the helper for Rayo, as we're tied at 1 with just over 4 minutes to go in the first quarter.
You talk about Corello, and here he is on the wings of faceoffs, right? He's not just a close defender. He's on the wings. He's got 5 goals on the year, and clearly a threat in transition. So they use him wherever they can, and along with that, it's covering the opposing team's top player.
Far side, it's Colin Lennon, the sophomore. 3 goals yesterday, and his first today. Lennon with a rifle, his 15th of the year, and Huntington back in front 2-1.
This was as smooth as a split dodge as I've seen all season long. I mean, the way he sets this up, going to his left and a little stutter back to his right, turning the defenseman around. He creates enough separation that he's able to plant his feet and take that shot from time and room. That was really smooth. The right back to his right hand to his left, and then left back to his right down the alley.
Yeah, they sunk those 2 other adjacent midfielders down a little bit, so it started off looking like it was going to be a lefty sweep, right? But he turned back into a righty alley, and before the slide came, he was able to get rid of it. And that's had his defender in the spin cycle there for sure.
Chung testing Annunziata, but he wins the face-off, and here come the Blue Devils again.
I saw Lennon play earlier this year against Cold Spring, the first games of the year, and Cold Spring won that game. It was a 1-goal game. It was really came to be a really exciting game. And Lennon was the guy who he had the favorable matchups as the game went on. The Cold Spring Rubber Poles were doing a good job, and he was able to get a shorty coming out of the box. He scored a few goals, and he really showed me something that day as a sophomore, like his second game. Really taking the game over a little bit.
Mike, as a coach, how exciting is it when you've got a ton of freshmen, sophomores, even sprinkling some 8th graders that are playing well beyond their years, and you've got them for the foreseeable future?
Sure, you got to make some decisions, I think, as a coaching staff when you're playing a bunch of young guys, like how much you give them to do, because you're going to build on things over the course of years to come, So it's like slowly adding as the course of a season, right, And there's going to be some occasional setbacks. It's not always a straight, linear path, but that's part of the process of learning.
Big check, Jesse Brooks. Flag is out. Free possession for the Blue Devils. Behind the back shot by Giramonte is saved by Santoro, goes out of play, and we'll get the penalty upcoming with 2:11 to play in the first.
Defender looked like he had good position, right? And all of a sudden, just a little bit too much, a little bit extra. You know what I mean? Like, got the foul.
I think he fell on the first time. I don't think the ref was going to call it. If he let him get back up, I think right here he was going to get away with it. And he did that extra push when he was on the ground, I think, is what got him. So, he just as a defender, you got to. I mean, he's just in the back. You can't push it in the back, and we'll see if Huntington can take advantage of here. This is where you worry if you're Half Hollow Hills, is if Huntington's able to stack a couple goals together, and then not winning face-offs. That's when it's going to be tough for Hills to come back if the deficit gets to do a few goals.
32nd man up for the Blue Devils as Jesse Brook picks up the penalty. Somebody who's playing lacrosse for the first time since 8th grade as a sophomore, took the year off last year. Take it away, Filardi. How about the athleticism of Joe Filardi, the two-sport athlete, quarterback on the football team, and a save by McInerney, and clamps down on it as time expires on the man up.
Big-time save, and that's one, if you're Half Hollow Hills, you have to take that opportunity in transition. But as McInerney makes the save, he just misses his outlet guy there, and Hills has it back now and probably kill out the penalty, which I think is
it's expired now.
Already expired.
Yeah.
Filardi's one of the best, 2025 sophomore athletes on Long Island. He's a very talented football player from a very athletic family. Father and older brother play, I believe he played at Penn State. So, a very athletic family, and I've seen him play in club, and he goes up and down the field in club like effortlessly.
Tell me if these numbers are good. 2,500 passing yards, 1,000 rushing yards.
I don't care who you're playing against. That's great stuff right there, and he's got a great future in either sport he chooses.
Patrick Karenium couldn't pick up the ground ball, as Anthony Rayo will track it down. Rayo, wide receiver on that football team as well. Team that was knocking on the door to the county final, losing at home to West Hampton in the semifinal. But eyes on the prize come LAC season. Final 35 seconds of the first period.
Gonna try to 0 for 1, it looks like here, Rob, right?
Yeah, you think so at this point. Yeah, go at like 15, 20 seconds.
Andrew Constantino matched up with Colin Lennon.
You got Constantino at the short stick here. Huntington may be going into a zone behind it now.
Constantino dodges. Near side. Shot. Save McInerney. On Santino Recido with 1 second. And that's how the first quarter ends. Huntington with a 2-1 lead over Half Hollow Hills as the Blue Devils. And there's Filardi underneath, and McInerney making the save. Sammy Mack showing up in the first quarter to keep this low-scoring affair at bay. 2-1 Huntington, second quarter coming up on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Are you tired of constantly having to adjust your lacrosse stick during the game? Let the experts at String It Up in Huntington take care of it for you. At String It Up, we use the highest quality materials and techniques to ensure your stick is game ready every time. Visit them today at 41 Stewart Avenue in Huntington Village or on the web, www.stringitup.com. Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Start of the second quarter here at Half Hollow Hills, on the campus of Hills West, as Huntington has a 2-1 lead over Half Hollow Hills, and we saw that last save by Sammy McInerney. Could possibly be our breakout goaltending save of the game. Keep an eye out for Sammy Mack as well as Sal Santoro looking for the breakout save of the game. And it's been a low-scoring affair alongside Rob Pinnell and Mike Hungerford. I'm John Perez, and a little bit of a traffic jam at midfield. Boy, how about Hills just not backing down against one of the best face-off guys on the island? That's Ryan Chung in there. And finally a whistle. And awarded to
Withholding.
Yep.
They've been withholding. Well, the ball might have been under Annunziata's stick, and whether he could get it or not, he was trying to get it to a spot, but that was the call.
Mikey Klein and Colin Lennon, the 2 goals for Huntington. Andrew Constantino from Anthony Rayo, lone goal for Half Hollow Hills. So we've seen a good mix-up, but mostly zone from the Huntington defense so far. Thomas Klein whacking at Constantino. Rayo. Bradley. Constantino fires a shot wide. Not sure if Mack had a piece on it, but
Got to find those gaps, right, Rod? The gaps in the defense.
Yeah, I think they're just kind of maybe crowding a little bit each other. You got Constantino and Rayo both next to each other on that right side, kind of clearing through for one another. They both have poles, so you're not really going to bring a pole to a pole when it comes to pick play.
Rayo, low shot, and that also goes wide as well. Stay with Half Hollow Hills.
A lot of opinions, I think, about zone offense and stuff, especially in high school, where you're playing with guys that are going to, some of them are going to be two-way guys. You don't have the same 6 guys like you would in college, playing all the time, and some people think like you have a zone offense. Some people believe you can play your man offense if it's correct against certain zones because you're comfortable in it, right? You have better spacing.
It's all different methods and philosophies that coaches have. I mean, when we played against it at Cornell, you kind of take each zone differently and their personnel and how they play it, but most of the time you have that kind of like you're playing man-up offense philosophy, and where you just let the ball do the work and try and fill in the gaps, and then, yeah, you do dodge it sometimes as well and play like you're playing against a man. It is frustrating to play with offensively, though. You certainly need to be patient. If you could start hitting a few outside shots, that helps as well.
Sure, you stretch them a little bit, right? You hit a couple outside. Now all of a sudden the inside opens up, It helps to have a guy that can, I think they're trying to hit a couple outsiders with Constantino and Rayo. If they can hit a couple, it'll change everything for sure.
Well, here's Constantino on the outside. Charging. Drops it behind the cage. Rayo to Bradley. Boy, nowhere to go for Hills on this near side. Rayo rifles a shot and scores, and we're tied at 2. His Long Island leading 33rd goal of the year and his 5th goal in his last 2 games. Rayo's tied it at 2.
Really good 2-man play between Constantino and Rayo here. You see he rolls back. He kind of just steps in there and gets Corello to hedge a little bit. What Rayo does really well there, as Corello hedges, he fades to make that slide back to him longer, and that allows him to catch with time and room and hit that shot, and credit Constantino recognizing that and getting him a stick side feed for him to catch and shoot.
Yeah, one of the things like Corello started to hedge a little bit, but the other 5 defenders, they know he's hedging and they go with him, kind of like, turning with him, and they kind of didn't really, their space kind of arrived.
Blue Devils had a quick response after the Half Hollow Hills goal in the first quarter. And we'll set up shop with 8:40 to go in the first half.
See, but that's part of the beauty of Annunziata if you're the Huntington coaching staff and Julian Watts, right? Like you give one up, but you cut the bleeding in it right there. You get the ball back to play offense. It's not going to be, you're going to have to mishandle the ball here, or they have to make a stop in order to give one up again.
so important to have a guy like that on the team where you don't have to worry about it, right? It takes a lot of stress off you as a coach, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
I've been on teams where you don't have it, and you're sitting down there at attack, and you don't see the ball for 5-10 minutes at a time, and it can get frustrating. Luckily, in my career, we've had some pretty good face-off guys. T.D. Erlin right now, and Greg Groundlian with the Lizards. But there certainly were years or times where guys were injured where you're like, oh man.
Thomas Smith. Smith gains it back, can't handle it, goes right into the stick of Santoro.
It's like Hills played a little zone right back at him a little bit right there.
Yeah, I think coming off a game yesterday that was a little closer than they expected. Pat Med 9-6, maybe legs are a little heavy. Chance for their defense to rest and take some breaks to just pop into that zone, and especially guys like Rayo who are back. He's playing midfield, he's playing attack, he's running up and down the field. Those games that you think should be a little more of a win where maybe he would have had the fourth quarter off.
Nice save again, Sammy Mack on Rayo. All right, hits off the pipe, and comes back out, and here's Constantino.
Nice play by Benjamin Vogt right there, number 17, knocking that ball back, keeping that ball from going over.
Shot rips wide. That's Santino Rizito, 18 points on the season.
Yeah, Santino is a smaller guy out there, but he's got a very high lacrosse IQ. He's very skilled, knows how to protect his stick the right way, knows how to move in and out. He sees open guys. I've watched him a few times this year, and he's impressive.
They call him the Magic Santini, and certainly a rah-rah leader for Half Hollow Hills, as it's Ryan Chung, the sophomore.
That's a great nickname. I love that.
Rayo. With the head fake, but good defense there by Huntington. That's Joe Zink. Constantino trying to get some separation.
Nice look.
Jumps underneath, and a nice finish as well. James Bruno, the sophomore. 21st goal of the year, and Half Hollow Hills in front 3-2.
Rob, I think what was great there was when you're playing an offense, the X-Man is like the forgotten member of the offense, right? Some schools like Virginia used to always play that deep attack guy, right? So you could always hedge and help from that guy. But now he sneaks, and now his defenders kind of maybe ball watching a little bit or trying to help in the crease or something, and he becomes open because he becomes part of the offense.
Absolutely. It gets lonely back there at X sometimes, but you really can create some easy goal-scoring opportunities for yourself when you have a guy like Constantino that can feed. He was kind of playing like point guard there, and you saw the defense kind of slough up to him, waiting for him to make a move, and that ex-attackman, right, cutting those pipes, creating an easy scoring opportunity. Great job by Hills there.
Yeah, and Bruno, a guy that has had nagging injuries the entire season, so still not at 100%, but when you think of Half Hollow Hills, we obviously talked a lot about Constantino and Rayo, but Bruno's been scoring as well. Obviously his 21st goal of the year, and three-headed monster for Half Hollow Hills, and he's a big part of it.
I think offensively, when you have a team where one guy has so many points and no one else does, they become kind of predictable sometimes, and you can stop when we have a bunch of guys who are getting involved in the action.
Klein rings wide.
Just puts that much more pressure on that one guy, right? When you have 3 20-plus goals in the season, 30-plus points each, it definitely helps.
Sure, if one guy's a little off, the other two guys can pick up the slack, or maybe he just can't win his matchup. The defender's really good, not burying his shot.
Annunziata walled off by Chung and has to give it up. Here's Lennon from X. Giramonte.
Watch Annunziata here with a short stick on him go quick.
Chung draws the assignment. Annunziata bouncing shot off the post and comes back out. It's Rayo crossing midfield. Rayo in fourth gear. Drops it off. Another shot by Bruno. Deflected. And will stay with Half Hollow Hills.
Good slide there by Huntington, getting to his hands on the break. little unlucky for Huntington, right? It's a little unlucky. Ball not hit the pipe. Maybe an inch or two away from being a goal for Nunziata.
Yeah, it's a low angle shot. He kind of was running away from it. Impressive that he even got that much speed on it non-cage.
Constantino again.
Shot is blocked.
At that time, shot blocked in front.
Ball by Filardi.
Impressive with the pole.
Yeah, Filardi's made a few plays in this first half that's kept possessions alive for Hills.
They've kind of kept them on the field a little bit. They sub them pretty late. A lot of times opponents runs to the box, they get another offensive guy, and they've kept him on a little bit. Here he comes now. But he stayed maybe 30, 40 seconds, which, allows him to be around the play and maybe play a little offense, and pretty useful right there.
And he's been used on offense this year as well. 19 points, 10 goals, 9 assists. So it's not like you're throwing an inexperienced guy out there. Nowhere to go for Constantino, and here's Rayo. Good defense on the other side by Thomas Klein. Carello and Rayo.
Carello throwing the kayak right there.
Yeah, I would take that as a sign of disrespect if I was Rayo there. I'd be like, all right, you want to try and throw the kayak? I'm going to take you out to the sideline here, and let's have a little go. I like it, though. I like the confidence throwing that check. Must be working with Rick Beardsley.
Hey, you're 40 yards from the goal, and he's not really in a dodgy position, so you might as well go for it there, right?
Why not?
Pops out of the stick of Constantino, but stays with him. 2.5 to play first half. A low-scoring first half. 3-2 the lead for Half Hollow Hills at home. Rayo again with Carello. Bradley drops Constantino, a goal. His second of the day, and Constantino puts Half Hollow Hills in front 4-2.
This really starts with Bradley right here. Great move, very smooth with his stick, protecting it. To have the presence of mind as this double team, he knows exactly who's open. Constantino, a little look away feed there. Constantino with that close, with that much room, going to put that one in the back of the goal a high percentage of the time.
Kind of got the defense compressed a little bit there, right? I think the Huntington guys are really sloughing off certain offensive players to help on the others, and say, let that guy, skip it to him, let's see if he can beat Sammy McHonor, But then as the ball keeps moving, you got to press back out on your matchups and not get so compressed defensively.
And Ryan Chung winning the faceoff over Annunziata. Quick shot, Rayo bounces, and it's a bomb goal, or at least looked on the side of the net as it gets. It's in. How about that? Trickles past McInerney. Huntington doesn't believe so. We'll take another look, but good job by Ryan Chung to just create the offense, and Half Hollow Hills gets it back as it hit that top HHH logo under the bar. We'll look again.
Not sure. All I can say is the man of his stripes is much closer than we are.
Anthony Rayo, assisted by number 32, Ryan Chung.
Well, Watts will want an explanation and
Discussion on the field.
certainly get it. Let's take another look.
We believe it hit the HHH logo.
So here's the shot. Off the pipe.
Off his helmet.
But it looks like it goes over the bar, right?
It was the time between it hit his helmet and the pipe. I don't know. It was called the goal on the field. I'm not sure how you go back on it now, but.
Well, right, that's the other thing. There's no designated monitor. They don't have replay down there.
Goal it is.
All right, so it's 5-2. Half Hollow Hills. Anthony Rayo with that goal.
There's some heat on that shot there, Rob, huh? Grip it and rip it.
He can bring it.
First time I'm seeing Rayo in person. I've heard a lot of good things, and I'm pretty impressed. And I'm not really easily impressed. by people, and just no disrespect to anybody. It's just
No, I'm the same way.
See so much lacrosse, and just for me to really feel, I feel really impressed by what I see. It's just game is at a high level.
The thing that I've watched with him a few times this year is he's capable of pushing it and dodging and going, but he plays within the offense. He doesn't force a lot of stuff. He creates for himself, but also gets himself to the right spots for shots. It's just a matter of if he's canning them that day or not.
I think if you're Huntington, though, you're in a bit of even though you've been winning most of the face-offs, you've lost 3, but you've won the other I think 6. You're a bit of a danger zone right here. You don't want to keep falling. You're 5-2 with 1:33 and running before halftime. You don't want to fall further behind.
Constantino whips it, bounces high. Stays out of the pipes. Huntington battling for position, but Half Hollow Hills keeps it. Skips under the stick of Rayo. And it'll be Huntington possession with 1:12 to go in the first half.
Maybe a little youth being exhibited right there, like instead of maybe bouncing off and freeing your hands and trying to throw something a little better. Because, possession is, more important than maybe getting a quick shot right there. But they turn it over.
Potential 2-goal swing. End of the quarter, you probably get that ground ball, hold it for 30 seconds, take one last dodge. Now Huntington has that last dodge for this first half. Maybe can cut it to 5-3 here.
So a timeout being taken by Huntington. And Mike, what's Julian Watts discussing now with his team?
Well, first of all, I think it's a great timeout because with 49, 50 seconds, rather than trying to waste time to get organized in your offense, you're organizing the huddle right now. You're maximizing your time. If you can get a goal with anything, above 20 seconds or 15 seconds left, with Nunziata facing up, maybe you can pop one and you go 2 for 1 right here, if you can. So I think, rather than trying to organize yourself on the field and say, hey, you go here and you go there and we're running this, we're running that, use the timeout to organize yourself to get right into it. And I think he's just saying, work the clock a little bit, but you do have a little bit of advantage facing off. Maybe you don't want to wait too long, let's go play. I'm not in the huddle and I don't coach his team, so I'm just saying, well, I'd probably play here right away and see what I can manufacture, even though you're risking it going the other way. But if you can get one, you might get the face-off too.
And Rob, offensively as a player, what are you looking for in the Half Hollow Hills defense that can maybe open it up and get a goal back before the half?
I think they're going to be focused on right now, not so much thinking about getting a goal. I think I would look for them to pack it in and maybe even go to a zone, make them move it around, give up an outside shot versus playing man-to-man and being one-on-one. So I think they just want to defend and settle in rather than try and create a turnover and go the other way. So we'll see what they come out in here. If they come out in a zone, I think, maybe force an outside shot. That's what I would look for.
There's also the issue of, they've played zone. I believe they've played some zone this half already and some man in the game so far. So when you're in your huddle, if you're Huntington, you have to come out with a man play and a zone idea, which sometimes you'd be surprised gets a lot of things in kids' heads sometimes. That's what you want to do. So it's not as easy as it seems.
Stiglione, athletic trainer. Congratulations on your little girl.
49.6 seconds to go in the second quarter. 4 unanswered goals by Half Hollow Hills as they lead at 5-2. Hybrenko up top to Lennon. Lennon and Filardi. Klein curling, now dropping back. 25 seconds to go. Klein and Brooks. Nowhere to go. Good defense by Brooks. Annunziata with 15. Fires a shot, and it goes in. That's off the logo that time, and a much-needed goal for the Blue Devils. It's 5-3.
That's a goal by Huntington.
Nunziata said, you don't want to cover me at 14 yards? Well, I'm going to get my body into this shot and absolutely rips it high to high. I don't think many goalies on Long Island are stopping this, but kind of gets the 15, steps in, and oh.
Sometimes offense seems so hard, and other times it just seems so really easy, right?
I do that every time.
Yeah, just let's do that. But here you got your chance now. You're at 13.6 seconds, and maybe he could pop one here and try to get one more quick one.
If you're Hills, you want to just go right into the hole here, not think about, there goes the ball.
And how about the job of Ryan Chung, the last 3 faceoffs, winning them for Half Hollow Hills?
Ryan Chung on the faceoff.
4 seconds to go. Rayo trying to beat the buzzer, scoops a shot wide
Goes wide by Rayo.
with 0.4 of a second remaining in the first half.
Of a second to go in the half.
Bruno. On the restart, time expires. And we're at halftime. Half Hollow Hills with a 5-3 lead over Huntington as Half Hollow Hills figuring out the defense and ping-ponging a goal as well. Anthony Rayo with a pair in the first half as Half Hollow Hills leads at 5-3 halftime here on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Lacrosse players, listen up. It's halftime, and you know what that means. It's time to tune up your stick. At String It Up in Huntington, we know a well-strung stick that can make all the difference on the field. That's why we offer fast and reliable stringing services that will have you back in the game in no time. Visit String It Up today at 41 Stewart Avenue in Huntington Village or on the web, www.stringitup.com. Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your events or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Lacrosse players, listen up. It's halftime, and you know what that means. It's time to tune up your stick. At String It Up in Huntington, we know a well-strung stick that can make all the difference on the field. That's why we offer fast and reliable stringing services that will have you back in the game in no time. Visit String It Up today at 41 Stewart Avenue in Huntington Village or on the web, www.stringitup.com. Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event.
Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your event or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email Ben at varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Lacrosse players, listen up. It's halftime, and you know what that means. It's time to tune up your stick. At String It Up in Huntington, we know a well-strung stick that can make all the difference on the field. That's why we offer fast and reliable stringing services that will have you back in the game in no time. Visit String It Up today at 41 Stewart Avenue in Huntington Village or on the web, www.stringitup.com.
Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email Jeff at varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media offers live sportscasts for any event. Our productions include announcers, multiple camera angles, graphics, instant replay, and so much more.
Hankinson getting it back. Hankinson going in, dropping it back. The shot of the goal! That's it! That's it! Norton! Pittsburgh, the Class A champions!
If you want to enhance your event or make the experience better for your viewers, reach out to Varsity Media today and learn more about our live sportscast. Contact Varsity Media at 516-403-2050 or email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
Varsity Media offers live streaming, videography, and photography services for all teams and individuals of all ages. In business since 2010, we are the trusted source when it comes to sports media coverage. If you have a big game that needs to be filmed or live streamed, or an athlete in need of action photography, reach out today and save 15% when you mention this ad. Contact us at 516-403-2050 or email Ben at varsitymedia.net. Are you a local business looking to advertise? Well, Varsity Media is the perfect place for you. We offer affordable rates both inside our live stream broadcast and through our social media channels. With coverage all over Long Island targeting the 16 to 54 demographic, why not take advantage and advertise today? For pricing and inventory availability, contact us today at 516-403-2050 or email Ben at varsitymedia.net.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.
Back here at Half Hollow Hills West High School, it is Half Hollow Hills with a 5-3 lead over Huntington at the half. Alongside Rob Pinnell and Mike Hungerford, I'm John Perez. Today's broadcast is sponsored by String It Up. Right here in Huntington, established in 2009, Visit them today, www.stringitup.com, as well as Breakout Goaltending Group. We saw a few big-time saves in the first half, and Breakout Goaltending Group has all of your goaltending needs. So as both teams get set to go for the second half, let's start with Half Hollow Hills, and we'll start with you, Coach Hungerford. Half Hollow Hills has seemed to figure out Anthony Annunziata in the faceoff, and then they've also cashed in with 4 straight goals, and they figured out the Huntington defense. What adjustments did you see them make the last few possessions around?
I think early in the game, I think Rob would agree, they kind of mishandled the ball a little bit, were a little sloppy with their possessions. He just kind of settled in and made some good decisions and valued the ball and found the open man. And just got comfortable, you know, more than anything, any X and O adjustment was just a comfort thing.
And Rob, we saw a lot of Andrew Constantino and Anthony Rayo, as you would expect. Seeing them in person, what stood out to you?
They've been fantastic today. 2 of them working together, not just as goal scorers, but feeders, really moving around the field well, and really doing a lot for their team other than just on the offensive side of the ball, in between the lines, in the ride, you know, on the wings of faceoffs. You know, they're doing a whole lot for their team, but let's see if they can keep that energy up, having played yesterday in a tight game into the second half.
Hills a 9-6 victory over Pat Med, a game in which they were trailing 5-4 going into the fourth quarter. Cool, calm, and collected for Huntington, an 11-0 win over Riverhead, the shutout victory for the Blue Devils, as Half Hollow Hills wins the first faceoff of the second half and sets up shop. It's Ryan Chung who's done a fantastic job on the faceoff. Couple of dodges.
I think the goal by Annunziata was really big at the end of the half because there was a lot of, I call it game pressure, right? There was a little bit of game pressure on the Huntington guys because they were, you know, going to halftime down by 3, and now it's only 2. I think the game pressure is pretty neutralized right now. It's just playing right now, you know. But if Hills can increase his lead again, the pressure will start to mount a little bit on the Huntington guys.
Also, if you're Huntington, you hadn't scored in a while, so it almost felt like, you know, there was a lid on the basket, you know, for lack of a better term, and the ball wasn't going in. So that gives them a little confidence that, yeah, we can score here.
Well, Sammy Mack says you can't score here on that one, as that was Santino Rosito whistling the shot right into the net of his glove, and here comes, or of his stick, excuse me. Giramonti, far side.
It's a great save. Love the move by Santino. I mean, he got to that island, he rockered, got to the inside. Maybe if he just puts it low or back to that near pipe away from the stick side, it would have been a goal.
Yeah, Sammy Macarona kind of put himself in a good spot. Like, you know, the ball, it was a great move. He's a crafty guy. He makes all kinds of little, you know, moves and rockers, like you said, Rob. It's fun to watch.
And someone who's able to flush away.
Rob, it's fun to watch.
And someone who's able to flush away a memory as well, has a quick reset of his memory on the island. Klein. And Annunziata circles
nice possession
around.
for Huntington here. Really being patient, getting some good looks so far. Maybe tiring out the Hills defense a lot, making them defend for longer periods of time. See if they can capitalize on this Huntington.
Kind of run a little weave action right here. I'd like to maybe see them get a little wider when they start, get a little more separation with each other. The Hills guys are doing a good job of, like, you know, helping and hedging a little bit. And
a lot of east-west dodging, so not so much north-south. Right? A guy like Annunziata, back him up 5-10 yards, catch it against a short stick. He should be able to make 1-2 moves and get a quality shot off. We're kind of dodging in a telephone booth right now.
Sure, the old theory of short dodging versus long dodging, you know, getting that run when you can.
Lennon scoops up the ground ball.
That happens before the dodge, right? Like not being lazy as an off-ball guy and getting out and catching it, getting going, having that separation, rather than just staying tight on the perimeter, which Huntington, you know, is kind of, they're floating around that 25, 20-yard line. Get out to the 30 and give yourself some space to dodge.
Sure, a lot of kids think they're short dodgers, but it's a skill involved with your feet, and it's not for everybody. You know, some people just better getting that good run for goal, you know, being athletic and running downhill.
Ben Vogt causes the turnover. Vogt doing a good job for Half Hollow Hills, the sophomore, called a bulldog by his head coach Connor Hagans. And Half Hollow Hills, after seeing a huge chunk of time come off the clock on defense, gets possession on offense.
Well, Huntington had 2 looks to goal there. I think Rob had two pretty good shots. Missed occasion, I think, on both of them. So, they had 2 good looks and a good stand by Hills. And, a lot of the time in high school lacrosse, I'll say it all the time, it comes down to shooting. Being able to put that goal on the goal and make the goalie make saves.
Rayo 2 goals in the first half. 1 laser and 1 phantom. Either way, they count. And here's Constantino. Shaded by Thomas Klein. Luke Bradley. Over to Ryan Chung. And guys, how about the job of Chung in the faceoff? He's gone toe-to-toe with Annunziata and now gets a dodge, and shot goes behind the net, scooped up by Half Hollow Hills, and it stays with Hills.
I don't have a stat for it, but I think just from an eye test right now, I think, Rob, I think that they've picked up so many of those loose balls off shots and ground balls. The ground balls in their offensive half of the field, Hills has done a great job of that.
Yeah, and some turnovers in the ride on their offensive side of the field. They're getting those extra possessions. Here's one right here.
McInerney makes a save on Constantino, who takes a spill.
Loose ball push.
Another great example right there, Coach, of just getting those extra possessions. And Hills looks like they're getting a little tired themselves, and Huntington's wearing down on defense. So we'll see.
This game's a grinder.
Who can hold
Who's
strong
going to blink first,
here.
right?
Yeah, especially they both played yesterday. I mean, that's tough. I mean, regardless of how much they do play and they're used to, it's definitely a different level of game when you're in high school versus summer club teams and longer games, up and down, bigger fields probably.
Scouting, game plans,
Quick shot by Rayo, trickles wide to the left. Oh, and just to add on that too, a lot of these guys grew up together too, or at least playing club lacrosse, or have played against each other at lower levels and now competing at the high school level. And could potentially meet up again in college.
I think if you're Hills, you have the obvious players you have in Rayo and Constantino. I think you need one of your other guys to win a matchup and get the ball spinning a little bit.
Yeah, a little short stick matchup, maybe attack one of the short sticks, although Annunziata is one of those. And, he's obviously extremely athletic on ball. Great play.
Chung set a screen. The ball goes in and one. Ryan Chung through contact gets the goal. And what a finish.
Great pick and roll, and you can see he gets checked here off the roll, and the ball kind of just floats in there right past the goalie. I think everybody kind of lost where it is. Nice little pass inside. He gets checked, and it just floats into the goal as he falls down, and he stays out of the crease, and it's a good goal there. Penalty should be wiped off for pushing it back. That's they call the slash.
I love that roll off the pick action, down the roll, that's crafty move, and he felt his defender was way up on the wrong side. I mean, defensively, obviously the wrong side, but on the other side of him, he was able to roll, and however it goes in, they all count.
They all count. They don't ask how, they just ask how many.
I've heard you say that before, and I love it. It's one of my favorite.
That's my brother's saying.
I love it.
Stole from him.
Carello called for the slash, so it'll be a 1-minute man up. And that's a big loss for Huntington because that's their top defender. And Hills awarded possession.
Interesting situation. They have a man up, they have a penalty on the man down faceoff. They call a violation on Annunziata. So it will be Hills' ball for a full minute here, man up.
And an opportunity for Hills to really take a stranglehold in this game, considering that these guys really haven't been going up and down the field, and these have been longer possessions. Rayo, Constantino, gobbled up. McInerney.
How about Filardi on the man-up team with the pole?
He's got a lot of points this year.
If he's your next best guy, if he's one of your top 6, go with it, right?
Says they have the confidence in him.
Calhoun High School's got a pole. Peter Tholman going to North Carolina, who plays man up the same way, and he's He's their juice guy. He plays like his hair is on fire, and he was my man up. And hard for the goalies to judge that ball from the pole coming, especially with time and room.
Absolutely.
He's got a bunch of points too. It's if he's one of your 6 best guys, go for it.
Time expires on the man up.
Huge penalty kill by the
Blue
big.
Devils. 7-3, doable, but keep it 3 goals. They can get one here, be even bigger.
Well, Huntington scoring the first 2 of 3 goals in the game, take a 2-1 lead, and then 4 unanswered by Half Hollow Hills as ball lofts over the stick of Filardi. Now it's Mikey Klein. He had the first goal of the afternoon. Looks to get one back as it whistles wide to the right. Stay with the Blue Devils.
I think if you're Hills, you let him have that, right? You let him have that one.
Absolutely. He gets separation, but he comes 3/4 sidearm down the alley, trying to hit that far pipe. Very tough shot. Maybe try and get back underneath to his right.
Klein drops off. Annunziata with Rayo. From X's Giramonte, the junior. Lennon.
Gotta love these 2 middies, right? Annunziata and Rayo. They're just playing all over the field. You got Rayo playing defense. You got Annunziata on man-down defense, taking face-offs, playing offense. These guys are all over the place for their teams.
Old school 2-way midi, right?
Love it. It's a rare breed these days. I think lacrosse will come for full circle, though. I do. Like everything else, like get back to that old school 2-way midi. Because guys are so talented. Kids have the stick in their hands so young. Keeping those guys on the field and face-off guys staying on.
Feed down low, goes over the stick of Johnson. And Nunziata there to back it up.
Yeah, we need Stephen Pizer again.
Pizer's. He was a rare breed. My first assist as a New York Lizard was to Stephen Pizer. Man up.
Well, guys around you, Doug Shanahan guys, right? Face off, play, almost make NFL squad.
Kyle Harrison.
Bouncing shot rings near side. Colin Lennon. 2 shots on offense for Huntington. With under 2 minutes to play in the third.
Long possession.
Another shot deflects off the stick of Santoro, but will stay with Huntington. And
Klein's shifty. I like watching him play. He moves his feet well, changes direction really well. They're going to him a lot here with the short stick matchup. He understands how to dodge, how to get a defenseman pushing him, rolling off it, creating separation.
Here's Tyler Johnson, 7 points on the year, directing traffic.
I like Annunziata from this side of the field, going maybe to the middle of the field off a bit of a sweep.
Lennon stops on a dime. Quick shot. Off to the right.
I like the Lennon shot off the roll there and didn't really see the goal even. Rob, you don't have to necessarily see the goal to be able to come out of the roll and really try to fire it on.
Use that defender as a screen.
Shooting. It'll keep coaches up all night. I speak from experience.
Keeps players up all night, too.
Blue Devils just trying to get one back. Here's Annunziata. Heavy defense by Rayo, forces and pass. And another shot goes wide. That was Mikey Klein again.
There's 2 schools of thought here, too. They've missed occasion, I think 4 times in a row, but they have the ball still, right? Rather than have the one maybe that goes right in the goalie stick.
This is going to be a big celebration for either side of the ball, I think. You look at Hills.
Low shot goes wide again.
To make a defensive stop here. They've been on defense for almost 4 minutes, and then if you look at Huntington, to come away with one to end the quarter here and go into the fourth quarter down 2 as opposed to 3, it's going to be a big win by either side of the ball.
23 seconds to play. Annunziata with Rayo. Thought about stepping into a shot. Klein. Low shot, wide again.
Is this the fastest quarter? The quarter's over.
Yeah,
Feels
one
like it.
Goal. Defenses have been locked in. Goalies have made some great saves. You're going to see a big celebration either side of the ball here. Looks like maybe from Hills.
Especially from Hills.
Oh
as Chung outlets up ahead. And the shot goes wide as time expires. Half Hollow Hills' defense comes up huge and blanks Huntington down the stretch in the third as they take a 3-goal lead going into the fourth quarter. But how about a little Constantino, the drop-off Chung, and one. Half Hollow Hills leads at 6-3 going to the fourth on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for upcoming schedules and content, and on social media at Varsity Media.
Are you tired of constantly having to adjust your lacrosse stick during the game? Let the experts at String It Up in Huntington take care of it for you. At String It Up, we use the highest quality materials and techniques to ensure your stick is game ready every time. Visit them today at 41 Stewart Avenue in Huntington Village or on the web www.stringitup.com. Now is the time to order a college recruiting video with Varsity Media. College recruiting videos can save thousands of dollars on college tuition and help land a spot on the team. Our videos include your best plays set to music with spot shadowing effects to help you stand out from the competition. Contact Varsity Media today and mention this ad to save 15%. Call 516-403-2050 or email jeff@varsitymedia.net.
Back here, the fourth quarter set to begin. Half Hollow Hills and Huntington. Boy, what a defensive effort to close out the third quarter as Half Hollow Hills leads at 6-3 over Huntington. I'm John Perez, joined by Mike Hungerford and Rob Pinnell. And Mike, as a coach, I'd have to imagine you'd be very satisfied with the defensive effort like that for Half Hollow Hills.
Sure, I'm pretty happy with. If I'm Huntington, I'm pretty happy with the defensive effort. 6 goals in 3 quarters is, it's against 2 really good offensive players. So both teams have held stout on defense, been some good saves by both goalies. So especially shutting a team out that was always very successful.
Rob, on the other side, how frustrating is it for Huntington, and how do you just flush that away and get ready for the fourth?
It's frustrating, I think, offensively. I mean, I think you look at their defense. They only let 1 goal up in the third quarter. Offensively, they've had some good looks. I think they got to dial in their sticks a little bit, put some shots on goal, make the goalie make a save, and see if they can do that to start the fourth quarter here. But look for them to go to their alphas, too, in Annunziata and see if they can get him going.
Ball goes under the stick of Klein as Annunziata misfires, and a turnover.
Sometimes in that weave look, you get on top of each other a little bit, and you're throwing those balls to each other pretty close. Looks like that was one of those situations.
Andrew Constantino, a couple of goals today. As Rayo and Constantino will run the show to begin the fourth quarter for Half Hollow Hills, leading by 3 early on in the fourth.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're Hills, you're really in no rush, right? I mean, not that you want to take yourself out of a rhythm, but you're in no rush. You're moving a little bit, get in the circle, spin it around a little bit, and see how hard they'll come and play you, right?
See if they can almost create offense for you. They come out and pressure and get themselves out of position, maybe leave someone open, slide early.
Filardi's still in there with the pole coming by Annunziata right now.
This is why people say they got to put the shot clock in high school lacrosse, which I think is coming, right, in a few years, Coach?
I hope so, yeah. I mean, I've been a huge proponent for a little while now, and people probably know. Heard me speak to you for more than 30 seconds in a lacrosse game. But listen, without the shot clock, you got, win is a win, right? You want to win games. Coach want to win games. You have to play the game the way the game is going. If it's 13-12, you got to play it that way. If it's 6-3, you play it that way. So,
Certainly does make the game more exciting, though. More aggressive games. And
Chung through contact slips on the shot attempt. Who wants it more? Ball squirts out. Ground ball. Scooped up. Aiden Corello. And now Filardi gets it back.
Another one of those ground balls in the middle of the field that Huntington came out with. But it looked like Hills almost had a shot at it there.
And there's Annunziata, hoping to catalyze the offense for the Blue Devils.
Listen, you can score 3 goals in a very short period of time. It's lacrosse, things happen fast. But right now, it seems like Huntington needs to get one like right here. Just to jumpstart them a little bit. They're a little bit dead. I think they're a little dead in the water a little bit, like in terms of energy and who's going to be the guy that can win a matchup and maybe draw 2, move it forward, create offense, or maybe Sloyd doesn't come and hammer on home.
Annunziata, the last scorer for Huntington, with 13.6 seconds remaining in the first half, as Half Hollow Hills threw up a goose egg in the third quarter. Lennon, Annunziata, checked by Chung. Filardi in the vicinity as well.
Like Huntington's a little hesitant to take some shots that normally they might. 12, 13 yards, they're overthinking it.
Yep.
You get your feet set, your hands free. Sometimes you just got to let it rip and not think. One of those goes in, you got a different game here.
From X, spun up top. Lennon. Lennon, we talked about one of those sensational sophomores trying to get one back as the shot goes wide to the left.
He's able to get a step there on Filardi, but he got it a little late. He lost a little angle going down that side.
Giramonte. And there's a save by Santoro.
I've been really impressed with Filardi today. All over the field, offense, defense. Really my first time watching him closely this year, and he's awesome.
So he even contributed on the man up. He was out on the field as well.
Just makes it look easy, too. It's like effortless out there. Just kind of glides around the field, playing defense. He's casual. He's pounding his pocket in as his guys dodging. Gets set and plays.
Bruno and Constantino play catch. Now up top to Bradley.
If Hills could get one here, that might be enough. 4 might be enough.
I'm with you, Coach. 7 minutes to go. Maybe do a little pick play. Maybe bring Rayo or Constantino to the ball. Maybe try and get a short stick matchup on them. Looks like they're kind of going into that similar weave up top as well.
Rayo, one-on-one with Corello. Up top now, it's Constantino. Constantino shaded by Thomas Klein. Swimming, shooting, and scoring, and a foul. A back-breaking goal, his 3rd of the game. Give a hat trick to Andrew Constantino, 7-3 Hills.
Well, hesitation there, Rob, right?
Yeah, hesitation. He comes back to his left hand. And then he kind of baits the defense with a little hesitation, gets inside, protects it really well. Quick shot.
What I liked there was they were kind of in that weave to an alley kind of a thing. And sometimes, everyone knows what's coming, right? You throw it, the guy's coming back, and everything got to throw the change up a little bit, like go to an alley and then roll it back and, get the defense off of that rhythm of how they're playing those motions.
Well, you were just talking about it before, gentlemen, about how that 7th goal could be the golden goal for Half Hollow Hills, whose defense has done a fantastic job, and they've done a good job on the faceoff as well. Ryan Chung with a goal and is probably around 40 to 50% right on the faceoff, you'd have to say, over the second half.
13 faceoffs,
yeah.
Probably got, pretty close to pretty much 50% now.
He's done a great job of neutralizing Annunziata. As far as, grinded it out, scrapped a few, and, Annunziata's going to need to win a few in a row here.
Really good exit there by Annunziata to himself, man down, knowing he's got, really no help behind him besides himself. But the way Hills aligned themselves, it gave him that rear exit.
Parker Wands with the slash as Aiden Corello towards midfield.
I think those are the actions, Rob, that separate him as a face-off guy like him, Cal Gerard, C.J. Schwartz at West Islip is very good. Got Melkonian, guys like that, that level, the various exits they have, knowing where the other team's lining up and what the calls are and where you can go.
Just being able to do it so cleanly, just pop right to himself, and he's out.
15 seconds to go on the man down for Huntington.
It's trying to kill those. The trouble is, they're trying to kill the penalty here down a man. But the clock is working against you now, too. You have to eventually try to get some offense going. But obviously can't play 5-on-6.
Yeah, I think Hills just is very content sitting back right now.
Sure, clock's your friend, right?
Yep.
Oh, and now we're back at even strength as Huntington needs a goal in the worst way. They trail by 4, almost 5 minutes to go in regulation. This is Klein. Klein, pass is intercepted. It's Rayo. And a foot race. Rayo in 4th gear. And Constantino shifts it over. And a one-timing shot doesn't go through. That was James Bruno on the attempt.
Coach, what do you think there for Huntington? They kind of had a 4-on-4. I think at this point in the game you need to go, and taking it in. Klein had the ball there, maybe a little tired. Huntington kind of setting it up here. There's really not much time left, down by 4. You got to push.
Yeah, you got to start to go a little bit. You got to have your 4-minute offensive. So where you're down, you got to go a little quicker, a little pace of play. It's tough though, it's been this way all game. Both teams are very deliberate.
Filardi, heavy defense. Trying to lock down Lennon. Annunziata matched up with Constantino. And now Mikey Klein and Ryan Chung.
Solid on-ball defense by Hills here. Not needing a slide, not really needing a lot of help. Designated man there.
Ball pops out. Picked up by Jay Casamento. As Hills will clear. And with 3:30 to go and time on their side, no rush for Hills. Victory in their sights up ahead.
Yeah, if you're Hills, you might want to stick this one in the ice box at this point, right?
Chung is doubled. And a timeout taken by Half Hollow Hills as start to get ready for the waning moments of the 4th quarter. But with that said, Anthony Rayo has had an impact in the first half. Let's get to meet the young man for Half Hollow Hills. Pre-game meal, 2 bananas and a couple of clementines as well. How about this, Rob? You and him have the same actor that would play you in a biopic, Tom Cruise. And his favorite song, we asked him what he listens to amp him up. The quote, "I like silence." So a little bit of a quiet assassin, but there is Mr. Rayo. And your thoughts on the pre-game meal?
I like the specific 2 bananas and clementines. It's very light before a game. I like that he knows what he likes. Tom Cruise, my favorite movie is Top Gun, so can't argue with him there. Jerry Maguire, also a good one. He's Italian, boy. I would have thought he would have said chicken parm for his pregame meal, but a little upsetting there.
It's a little heavy.
Yeah, he runs it off.
He runs around, that's for sure.
Yeah. Certainly a ton there, and then
I'd like to, we don't have a statistic, but I'd like to go watch the game again and see how much time has he been off the field. I feel like he's been on the field the whole game.
I think so. I don't think he's come off.
Well, and guys, we also have, one of our other impact players too, Anthony Annunziata, a little bit more of Italian flair. Godfather Part 2, his favorite movie, James Franco as actor. And then, Mike, I know you're big on the pizza scene up in New Haven. Favorite spot up by Yale, Sally's a Pizza.
That's one of the better ones. I would think that's a good choice up there. New Haven with that little Italy area there, really good Italian food. So I'd probably come back from a tournament or something, hit that place up. He'll be up there in the future. So
are you guys Godfather 1 or 2?
Oh, can it just be one movie?
Yeah,
okay.
It kind of goes together.
But we throw 3 out the window, right? Like is that?
Go 1.
Oh my God.
Here's Constantino, quick shot and an icebreaker. Andrew Constantino scores his 4th goal of the game, and Half Hollow Hills leads it 8-3.
Man of the match right there.
Constantino had 4 assists yesterday. He's got 4 goals today. and he's been magical for Hills this afternoon.
Huntington elected to go with the single man, try to get the lock and try to take the ball away. But what's your feeling when that happens, Rob, as an offensive player? Like, you get these situations where it's you and another guy, and you probably don't think anyone's coming, right? So what do you?
It's always, you never know. There's no if it's you, and sometimes if you just run by that guy, you do have an easy goal like that. That was even a little more difficult than I'm sure he would have liked. I was never the fast guy on the team, so a lot of times that was given to someone else. Sometimes they gave it to me, but I prefer to maybe be the guy that pops open and gets it.
You never had the goalie, though, huh?
No. Nope, never had the goalie.
That'd be some coaching decision.
Huntington trying to get one back, and they do. That's Thomas Giramonte, his 17th goal of the year, and Huntington not going away. It's 8-4.
Nice question mark dodge here, driving up the field. Lefty gets to his spot. You see a little split dodge. He drives, he pushes in, and it's that step away, puts it to that near side. Good placement there.
Good shot, good finish. Like I said earlier, sometimes it just seems so simple.
Back the other way. Here come the Blue Devils. Annunziata. Mikey Klein to Annunziata. 2:15 to go in regulation. Blue Devils trying to mount a comeback. Filardi, big defense. Rips it clean. And that's Benjamin Vogt scooping up the ground ball. And guys, that might just do it for Hills. An opportunity to just, like you said, Mike, put it in the icebox.
Filardi's everywhere.
Constantino not thinking, though, looking for his 5th goal. Whips it wide.
Backed up by Bruno. Hills takes possession with 1 minute and 15 seconds left in the quarter.
Net empty for the Blue Devils. Rosito. Still fighting for the loose ball, and Sammy McInerney lofts it up the field. Carello and Bradley. Ibrenko with 70 seconds to play, loses the stick, and taken aside. Tom Nazarek.
The Nazarene on the D.
And with a minute to go, the home crowd's starting to feel it. For Half Hollow Hills, it's Filardi down the field.
Before the game, I didn't want to say anything all game. But before the game, I was down the field talking to the coaches, and the Hills coaches said, watch Filardi play. I've been lucky enough to be around some really good defensemen coaching in my years coaching, and they said he's really special. Right, you'll be impressed. And you don't want to put it on a kid in the first quarter and say that, right? But I can say it to you right now. I'm very impressed.
I share the same sentiment, Coach. He's been very impressive. Even there, just handling the ball with pressure, like a short stick in his hand, killing time, off the ground, one-on-one defense, team defense, wings a face-off. He's been all over the field. Extremely impressive.
Half Hollow Hills 40 seconds away from a victory, as here comes the road ahead. Sachem North at Longwood, Connecticut, and Copeg. Not the easiest of schedules for Half Hollow Hills, but that's what they have upcoming. And on the other side for Huntington, take on Walt Whitman, Ward Melville, one of the top teams in Varsity Media's poll. Sachem East and Northport over their next 4 games.
Tough stretch for Huntington. They'll Whitman. They'll be the favorite in the Whitman game, and after that, it's going to be 3 battles right there. So this is kind of a pivotal game, I think, for both teams in terms of momentum heading down the stretch.
And, of course, be sure to subscribe on YouTube and social media at Varsity Media. It's been a fun social media campaign going on as well. Tomorrow, Go Friday. For your face-off goals, be sure to DM your face-off goals to the Varsity Media account. The winner will get a Varsity Media hat and T-shirt. Half Hollow Hills with an 8-4 lead over Huntington. And some dotting the T's and crossing the I's. Left for Hills. We've really stepped up quarters 2 to 4. And it's Anthony Rayo. He's got 2 goals and an assist today.
Got a double team on here. All your players locked off.
Rayo around the world. Flag is out. So is the keeper. Quick shot blocked in front. And blown dead. With 18.7 seconds to play in the fourth.
That's the first moment. It looks like Rayo shows he's a little tired. Oh, God. First time he got his hand stick over his head a little bit. He's a little gassed. But I haven't seen it any other time at that moment right there. He's a horse.
Well, Hill's getting a complete effort today from their three-headed monster, led by Andrew Constantino, Rayo, and then, of course, we also saw James Bruno in there as well.
You try to put a man on the ball and lock off again, Huntington. Just try to, play it out here, right?
Corello with the penalty, under 10 seconds to play, and another whistle. Not sure if a timeout was called or there we go. All right, so just the turnover. Here comes Huntington.
Turnover, Half Hollow Hills.
A little pin in that one maybe in there.
The great Santini. I like him. Tough.
Plays hard. Good for him.
Well, a diligent victory for Half Hollow Hills as they win it 8-4 at home over Huntington. As Andrew Constantino pours in 4 goals in the victory. Anthony Rayo right behind him with 3 points as well, as Half Hollow Hills picks up their 8th victory of the year. They improve to 8-2. Huntington falls to 5-3. And guys, a complete effort by Hills, quarters 2 through 4, to get the victory today.
Yeah, I thought it was great by Hills, coming off a tough game yesterday to regroup, coming here against a rivalry game, playing against Huntington, close high schools, and a game that they probably should have won, but no, it was going to be tough on their schedule, and for them to find the grit and determination within themselves to come and give that effort today all around the field. It was from defense, from goalie, all the way to offense, so credit to Half Hollow Hills, and Huntington will have to regroup and get ready for the tough schedule coming up.
Big schedule upcoming for Huntington, as well as we saw before, but Mike, I think one of the big questions here for Half Hollow Hills, when you're clicking with Constantino, with Rayo, and of course, you had a goal from James Bruno. Defensively, it's hard to contain those 3 if you're facing Half Hollow Hills.
Sure, it's those 2 guys, they're tough covers. And they're gonna get their shots, they get the chances, and I was just really impressed with how Hills managed the face-off game. Anthony Annunziata is a really, really good player, one of the best players in all of Long Island at his craft. And they won it back to where he didn't get any offense created from the face-off, and they won enough to manage the possessions and neutralize the game. So tremendous job at the X and the wings by Hills.
And of course, that leads us to our breakout goaltending save of the game. And let's take a look in the Wayback Machine. Half Hollow Hills charging down the field. Filardi and Sammy McInerney making the save from his knees and clamping down as he did it all between the pipes today. Breakout goaltending. Goalie training for boys and girls of all ages and abilities. Long Island's most comprehensive goalie training year-round. COM 60, middle school, high school, elite, college, and committed programs. A 2-to-1 player ratio staffed by men and women dedicated to the development of the individual goalie, both physically and mentally. Contact them today for more information and register for summer lessons. They have begun. Visit them online at breakoutgoaltending.com. Give them a call at 877-GOAL-121 and on social media at BreakoutGT. So that'll do it as the sun begins to set in Suffolk County. A victory for Half Hollow Hills at home against local rival Huntington. An 8-4 final. Well, what a great day of lacrosse it was for our executive producer, Ben Turchin, and technical director, Chris Sweeney. For Ron Pierre and Angelo Caiazzo, the A-team on the cameras. For my great colormen, Rob Pinnell and Mike Hungerford, this is John Perez saying so long from Half Hollow Hills West. This has been a presentation of Boys Lacrosse on the Varsity Media Sports Network.